Diwali evening, Trinidad and Tobago. So, to start it off, I took the family for a drive. We drive through St. James, drive through Woodbrook, drive through Diego Martin, drive through Westmoreland. No deers, no lighting up, nobody, nowhere. One little private party in Columbus Circle and I have some deers on the ground. But that's it. Last night Pep put out 1,000 deers, almost the length of Stanmore Avenue. Pep members came out and cut bamboo, genuine authentic bamboo, built a display from Pep headquarters to the corner and put out deers and organized. Members donated deers. Different members brought 10, some bring 50, some bring 100. And Usha Devidine brought the oil, somebody else brought the wick, and we had our version of our Diwali lighting up. But tonight, it is officially Diwali, and people told me, don't have our Diwali event tonight because everybody would be out lighting up tonight in their homes and properties. Where is the deers? Where are they lighting up? So we went into the savannah to see if we get something to eat. They didn't have many people there. But I stopped by this little barbecue place that's selling barbecue pigtail and grilled beef and lamb and things. So I ordered some food and we ate it there. And when I was leaving, I went to tell the barbecue man. I walk up to the barbecue man to talk to him. And he put his hand and shake my hand and tell me, boss, I love what you're doing. You're inspiring me and you're giving me information. And this is a barbecue man. I didn't dress up to go nowhere. This is how I dress up. And I out tonight just to lie, man. I'm not expecting the barbecue man who's selling the barbecue pigtail. I'm not expecting that from him. I still have this mindset that what we selling can't drill down. But we drill down. We drill down. It's PNM people and UNC people that supporting the PEP. They're strangers. There's people who fed up of the same thing over and over on the barbecue man. Because I went to tell him that's the best barbecue pigtail I ever eaten in my life. They fall off the bone. And if you're going to Savannah, I don't know. I didn't take the name of the place, but it's a little food truck cart kind of thing. They have red and blue neon lights on it. And you would see that it's written up #1 and pigtail and thing. They right to call it #1 because it's real good. Anyway, and the lady selling cornbread and green fig salad and sweet potato vinaigrette. Real nice stuff and cheap, real good prices. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, I am not supposed to be able to think. How we programmed in Trinidad and Tobago, how we program is Phillip not black and Phillip not Indian. So Phillip not supposed to be able to drill down to Caroni. And Phillip not supposed to be able to drill down to Morphan, Beatam, Lavendale and Silots. But it is there that we have our biggest following. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen come elections time because I trust these money laundering, drug trafficking freaks to have all the organizations of state. I mean, last year, between last election and now, the insanity of the court saying that the EBC was wrong to extend the time, but they ain't doing nothing about it. I should have done. The court adjudicated that the EBC was wrong. No consequence. No consequence. And that is the insanity of Trinidad and Tobago. This is a country where the Minister of Finance decide, let me thief some money and give it to our partner now. How are we going to do that? We're going to give he a contract for bulbs and let he give we kick back. Because it can't be nothing else. It can't be nothing else. And you see, they have nobody in Trinidad and Tobago to go to and report the Minister of Finance. Because if it's crookedness, the Prime Minister crooked too. And the President has no responsibility. The President has no authority. It's a jokey country. It's an upside down failed nation. Start off so. Eric Williams get guidance. Listen, this is how we go enslave them. This is how we go rob them. This is how we go thief them. And that's how they set Trinidad up. Because we have a president that serves no purpose, costing the country $100 million a year. Why? You can't go to the president and say, hey, I think the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance thieving. You can't. You cannot go and say that because the president will say, you know what? Even if I agree with you, there's nothing I can do because I have no authority. My job is to drive into the savannah once a year and nod at the army and the people who parade in. That's my work. That's my whole work. Every now and then, they will bring me out of mothballs, give me a Bible, a guitar, or a Quran, and tell me swear people in. I have a job. There's nobody to go to. From the minute the US president is sworn in, they give him 100 days, and on the 101st day, pressure in your ass. Pressure. They're ready to impeach Trump. They don't know what for yet, but they know they have the numbers. So they're starting the mechanism going. Trinidad, who you going to? The Chief Justice? Who you going to? The Chief Magistrate? This is a country where everything now being dragged into odium and disrepute. Who do you trust? Who will you go to? The nation is broken by deliberate design. You have leadership in name only. There are people in this country that were it not for the laws protecting them would be in jail. And you can't call their names because it is easier for criminal, crooked, corrupt, drug running, money launderers to take you to court for defamation. If you call their name in a group of sedition, they are using the courts and the parliament to restrict you from saying, look the thief there. To Mr. Barbecue Pitman, brother, forget everybody else. You do you. You vote PEP. You vote Phillip Edward Alexander. Trinidad, no, without a shadow of a doubt. They could do what they want. They could jump high, they could jump low. Put Phillip Edward Alexander in that parliament and the game change. From the speaker come right back. And you know that. You have to know that. I am one of them selfie activists that looking to cut deal with UNC or PNM and attack the other one for the other one to get a post and a position for me and my friends. They know what we are about. All they know we are about change. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a horse of a different color. Phillip Edward Alexander is not an easy person to debate or to take on. So put me in the parliament. Put me where you need to be protected. Help us build this from the ground up. Help us undo and redo the insanity that is Trinidad and Tobago. And I know if I brought a psychic with his tarot cards to talk shit on the right and a transsexual to talk shit on the left, numbers going through the roof. If I went by Tony Defoe, who owns Boddington Opticals, to get some new reading glasses, ask him if he have any with big white frames. I tell him I'm going to stunt on my videos because we need to pull the numbers for the people to get the information. For the people to get information. Take a picture of a little black boy praying over his banana leaf with his curry on it. And put that as the picture with a text. Let me tell you what the text says. Because plenty of people react to the picture. Plenty people react to the picture and ask them, did you read the text? No. Well, all right, read what accompanies the picture because you can't just assume because you feel a certain way that that is what it is. So let me tell you what I wrote. For those of you who missed that, although it got respectable numbers, for those of you who missed that, stunt plan. Stunt plan. We have to find a way to wrap. You know when your dog's sick and you had to give it a medicine, you had to take the pill and wrap it up in bacon or salami or a piece of ham, Give the dog, you know that child sick, and then give the child medicine. You have to crush up the pill and put it in some condensed milk for them to be able to taste it. This is how we are moving now. In the politics, we have to find a way to disguise the truth and bring the truth to you. Because you see, this could never be about black and Indian. And this could never be about Hindu and Christian. This could never be about class, high, low, handjack and game. This had to be about Trinbagonians. Because if it's never about Trinbagonians, and if it doesn't come down to be about Trinbagonians, and if the government could do what it damn well please, and you don't ask that changes be made, then where do we go from here? Rohan Sinanan should have been fired 5 years ago, even though he only in office 4 years now. But he should have been fired 5 years ago. And we have to accept that this roving lunatic has taken 8 years, trying to make an excuse that the last government was building it for 4 years, and he building it for 4 years. So it's 8 years it take for them to build the 2 lanes in Mosquito Creek. Now 2 lanes. The Yankees came here and built Wallafield, North Coast, Chagaramas in less than a year. A P&M troll on my thread tell me they had incentive and funds in the 40s, 1940s, 60 years ago. We don't have funds, we own the blasted pitch lake. We don't have incentive. People begging for a road from Mosquito Creek since the Queen was here. What they do is this. You start the project, I give it to one of the 5 contractors, them take their piece, we get we piece, we share it. We go out of office, you come into office, you are your contractor, build the same road. And do what we do, start over, pay them again, same road. Pay it again. They get their piece, you get your piece, and you fail. You open it without shoulder. When we come back in, we go say, oh, let's do madness here, man. Come. Get Junior Sammy the contract quick. Junior, this is madness. Rip up all of that. Then we do a proper road for them. Take 8 years. Get them the money, we get we can't. So what's going on in Trinidad forever? The picture I put up with the little boy reading, praying over his banana leaf. Here, every creed and race finds an equal place. So everybody, some of these people, now I know Trinidadians are lazy, and we had to get serious. The name of this video is We're Not Serious. We had to get serious. We have to stop being surface dwellers. We have to stop being low information voters. You have a lot of information now. You have it now. And even when the money laundering, drug running, contract mafia that own all the media block we set up our own media. We set up our own studio. We have better guests than them. We deal with better issues than them. We getting better numbers than them. 500,000 views on Plain Talk in the first 28 days, 4 interviews. Here every creed and race finds an equal place. So the picture that I'm about to describe is a young fella of African descent, hands clasped, eyes closed, and in front of him is a banana leaf, some basab shot, some chana potato, and I think mango. To anyone looking at this picture, a young man of African descent about to partake in an East Indian meal to Hindu rites, saying a Christian prayer is an inspiring, heartwarming, and encouraging image. What I see. We spend on average $25 million per year per school on what? For the same funds it would take to rebuild that school from scratch every year, this is what is provided. Is this really the best we can do? Because when you're looking at the picture, you're seeing all the school in the background. That child's education costs taxpayers $20,000 per month for that substandard infrastructure, failing system, outdated and irrelevant syllabus, as it does for each of the other 200,000 children in our system. For that money, he should be eating on a proper table, not a sheet of plywood, and on a padded chair with back support in air-conditioned comfort. Instead, his dining space looks like a jail yard. For $20,000 per student per month, he should be getting a better education in better facilities than the International School or Maple Leaf, who charge less than that. But he doesn't. Of the 200,000 children in the system, we lose on average 7,000 a year to dropouts and failure, and no one follows up and no one is held to account. In this Papi Show land, that meal may have been the best thing about his day that day. for more than 70%, or about 140,000 children being warehoused and minded as education, 10 of his best years are being wasted so politicians and businessmen could play steal money games, creating millionaires on the backs of these innocents. Isn't it time we did better as a nation? If not for us, then at least for our children. Now, that's what I wrote, right? And anybody looking at the picture, because if you look at the picture of the hospital, and anytime you share information, and you say this government spending $5 billion a year, the last government spending $5 billion a year, get your head out the latrine. Don't tell me about Kamala and Keith. Tell me about who's sitting in the chair. No. Tell me who's making the decisions. No. Tell me how we're dealing with that. No. We can go back in time and clean up after. But Christ on a cracker, let us deal with it now. Because we're running out of time. 40% of the budget was taxes paid by you. A lot of these people who just got an increase in their stipends don't know that Colm Imbert is playing a game with them called left pocket to right pocket. And I have been reliably informed that this budget was predicated on a devaluation. Brother, it could be a badgy leaf. That is not the important issue right now. Colm Imbert has to be held to account for what he just passed as a budget. He needs to be. And we are getting caught up as usual in the thick of thin things. Suzette Lower and Rowley having a heated relationship on the papers over she talks shit about Wassa and he talks shit about her, and neither of that matters. How is that and the continuing saga of Suzette Lower and Rowley the story? When your Minister of Finance is stealing money to buy bulbs that we don't need. Now, if the diminutive jackass of a troll called Imbert had said, I am taking $1.4 billion to buy the bulb factory from Barbados so Trinidad could become competitive in the bulb business, I say okay, but don't take the money and give it to Haddad and Hadco so Haddad and Hadco could go and buy the bulb factory. Say you're setting up a bulb industry in Trinidad and Tobago, it's $1.4 billion. You're talking about energy saving. So set up a renewable energy fund and encourage people to get into that. Don't bullshit us. Don't tell us that you're replacing all the bulbs in the nation's houses. Of all the problems we have, that's the least. That's our least problem. You solved the problem we don't have. You created what we don't need and enriched some jackasses along the way. Now, how is that fair to the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, out of whose pockets you are taking the money, 40% taxation, to pay that bill? How is that fair? In a country where the PNM broke Petrotrin, and the PNM closed down Petrotrin, and the PNM stole Petrotrin and gave it to their friends to say they're organizing a lanyard of a vote through the OWTU. To make that the story, when the story is, it was never the PNM's own to sell, and the deal they sold it on borders on theft. You cannot give the country's refinery away. You cannot give the country's oil company away. And I tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, put the Progressive Empowerment Party government in office. We will reclaim Petrotrin. We will fling Roger into the Gulf of Paria and all the 5,000 who want to follow him. Because while I have no problem whatsoever with Oilfield Workers Trade Union, if Oilfield Workers Trade Union standing against the people of Trinidad and Tobago, me and OWTU, we're going to have a problem. So put a proper government in place to undo short man's shit. Fling Imbert into the Gulf too. Get back with Petrotrin. Get it back. Get back with Caroni. Go through the list of every one of the financiers that PNM and UNC gave Caroni lands away to, and go and take it back. Reclaim it. Let them bring their lawyers. We have a director of public prosecutions. We have lawyers too. Let us see where the corruption and the crime is, so we could start to jail people, big shots, who masquerading as successful businessmen, buying up empires with money in suitcases, and they have nobody in the country to ask a question because the Attorney General and the Prime Minister could lie in a house of ill repute where the Commissioner of Police rescuing underage human trafficking victims. Oh, you tell me if this is not a mad-ass country. Tell me if we not serious. We can't be. Nowhere else in the world they was tolerating that. Not Hong Kong, not Chile, not Lebanon, not Ecuador, not Iceland, not Haiti, not Guyana. They're not taking it. What they do, Trinbagonians, what they do all your, this Indian African bullshit, taking all your family to graves, early graves. People kill themselves over Petrotrin. You can't do that by handing Roger control. Roger can't run a parlor. Roger walk his whole resume. March as a marcher. March in circles. March, strong arm, thuggery. I bring that to the table. How are you going to put Roger to sit down and deal with the oil industry anywhere in the world? How? Roger is going to have to, at some point, expose the other part of this heinous, insidious transaction, that there is a 1%er behind this, and they're going to do it like they did the ferry. They're going to go all over the world and make fake companies, shell companies, shelf companies, paper companies, one set of games. And we not qualified and motivated in this country to go after anybody. Our director of public prosecution spent $150 million trying to prosecute Ish and Steve for stealing $1 billion. That is the definition of good money after bad. Because Ish and Steve still not prosecuted. This is a nation where we write laws to free bandits, where the parliament could be corrupted by a member of parliament and a minister. And when he confesses, all right, go and sin no more. Volney should be sitting in a jail cell for the rest of his life for that. The same way Yassin Abu Bakr should have been hanged from the neck until dead for the attempted coup, so should Herbert Volney be in jail for the rest of his life. And whatever all you decide to do, but keep Christopher Mugabe Sabgarowli for the treason that was Emailgate, that is on all you. But we need a country that functions and works. It cannot only be bullets and baton for the small fish. It cannot be. At some point, Colm will get his riot. Martin Luther King said a riot is the language of the unheard. Gary Griffith is an excellent police commissioner. He's taken away people's right to light tires and block the road. That was their last avenue to vent. So TV6 and CNC3 could fly down there and cover it. The minister could come to board and say, we're fixing it. Because until somebody burned tires in front of the Oval, nobody fixing the collapsed road opposite Phase 2, opposite Invaders Panyard. The road collapsed 2 months now. They put a no parking sign in the middle of Tragarit Road, outside the Queen's Park Oval, that Anil Roberts took $200 million of taxpayers' funds to fix a private enterprise. Upgrade, update. We're not serious. We need to get serious about our country. Every single day of life, I tell you all this all the time. Every single day of life, I am wondering if I am wasting this day trying. But then, Mr. Gentleman, you barbecuing in the savannah, you gave me hope tonight. You. The people who came out last night to light theirs on Stanmore Avenue, you gave me hope. But Mr. Barbecue Man, you catch me off guard. And that is rare. It is rare. I didn't see you coming. Thank you for the compliment. We need to get serious as a people. And we're not getting serious as a people if we're going in Tanti house and Mommy house and Papi house and trying to convert the house. We're going to get serious as a people If we do what the Christians did when the Romans used to persecute the Christians, there was a time to be a Christian in this world, you used to get killed and eaten by lions and hanged and drawn and quartered and all kind of things. So what Christians had to do was lock down their mouth and practice their faith in silence. The Progressive Empowerment Party is calling on Trinidad and Tobago to ready itself for the rescue mission that the next election has to be. There is nothing more after this. There is no more calypso. There is no more activism. There is no more third party and fourth party. All that done, this next election here, this next election, trust me when I tell you this, you know, have shit liquid, you know. This next election, if PNM or UNC win, just grab, where you could grab and go. Get out, quick, while the getting out is good. Before they write the laws that break the chances, before they devalue, before you have to try and escape, like those poor women they found in that container in Great Britain who tried to escape from somewhere in Asia, so they paid to get into a shipping container. The last thing the child write her mother was, "I cannot breathe." They found her dead body in a shipping container. If we don't rescue it, don't give me the nonsense about Abu was fighting for the same thing, because the moment you pick up a gun and train it on the democratically elected government, because I tell you, Trinidad and Tobago this, from the moment you move from the ballot to the bullet, you and me not friend. So don't tell me killing that sentry in front the police station, that was not democracy. That was not fighting for rights. That is bullshit. Miss me with that. Whoever it is wrote that just now, telling me Baka fighting for the same thing we fighting for. I and Baka is the opposite sides of the... He couldn't be further from me as East is from West. Miss me with that bullshit. We never call it for anything other than lawful, legal, democratic, people power. That's what we want. We never want to take up arms against the state because we are the state. We never want to engage in any kind of violence that results in anything burning down or mashing up, because it is poor people have to suffer through that. And it's our money that had to spend to fix it. You do not have to go from one extreme to the next. We live in a country where the drug traffickers and the money launderers have more power than law-abiding citizens, where the courts seem to be confused, where we do not have an idea what is the next step forward. We're not serious, and we have to get serious. Have to get serious. Too many people in this country living 1 foot in Trinidad and 1 foot in America, 1 foot in Canada, 1 foot in England. The children done gone, and they back and forth moving money. The middle class. The middle class being squeezed. But Peter George Sr. said it, that the middle class work was to protect the 1% from the masses. When Anthony Bourdain asked Peter George what was his biggest fear, he said he feared the poor people in the ghetto. And thank God for the middle class, but they're shrinking, so he worried that the buffer, because the 1% in Goodwood Park and Fairways and St. Clair want Westmoreland's. Bayshore now is 1%. Bayshore was Westmoreland's light. Bayshore now is 1%, buying up the properties. Collins Road, they don't qualify as Fairways, is 1% now, buying it up. Making buffers. Westmoreland's putting up gates. Anderson Terrace in Maraval are now closing their roads on evenings. We are going to end up in a nation where the people don't recognize each other. They are not interacting with each other. We are segregating and separating to our peril, because you could live in a gated community and you could send your children to exclusive schools. But when you come out in public, you put yourself at risk. And Michael Coelho is a friend of mine, and he is on this wall regularly. And Michael could tell you, when his father died on the Lady Young Road, the people of Morva stripped him of everything he had. Elias Coelho, that spent his life literally making bread for people. we are going to end up in a place where the people are too separated to get along. I believe that there are those who want that they want martial law, that they want to suspend the Constitution, that they want to rule by fiat and decree. I believe that there are people who want that. There are others who talk stupidness and tell you, if they shut down Carnival, we rioting. You think they care if you riot? You think they care? You think it's you have Carnival going on? Threats of you and your riot? If it's one thing we are taking is if you shut down Carnival. You think it's that? They want to give you 3 Carnival a year. Once you're drunk and whining, they can do what they want. You know, they thief Petrotrin, they're about to thief Pastor, they just thief St. Michael's Schools for Boys. They're going to thief St. Anne's Medical Hospital. Anything they want, they thiefing, and you need to be drunk and whining. So it's not you have Carnival. They want you drunk and whining. How much Carnival you want a year? They gain you that. Go in the gym. 6-pack, 9-pack, 12-pack. We're distracted by foolishness. We're not serious. We're getting degrees that we can't use. We educated our children functionally literate. They're walking out of our education system, can't make a proper sentence. Cannot construct a proper sentence. We are a failing nation state. And Mariano Brown sends me, in response to my broadcast this morning, that this is a non-issue. You see, if you vote clowns back into office, the circus will continue. Mariano Brown has nothing fresh to bring to the table. Nothing. He looking for a work. This is what I posted this morning. Solving the problems. The Chinatown on Charlotte Street issue has brought into the conversation whether parts of Port of Spain could be renamed or given to different races to control. But as the presence of shoppers dictate the value of vending space or even the viability of the city, I would advise restraint in the conversation. The truth of the matter is Port of Spain's current economic activity is all a lie. It's artificial, built on advantage and abuse, on failure of government after government to decentralize and digitize government offices that drags the over 200,000 people who work at those offices into Port of Spain daily. The reason all of the morning and evening commute traffic exists throughout this country, and something that can be easily solved to the betterment of everybody. A progressive empowerment party government will be sending online all government goods and services that could be managed online to the convenience of everybody, with the remainder broken up and relocated at 5 regional government hubs in the North, East, Central, South and Tobago. Any remaining facilities that need to be brick and mortar and centralized would be literally centralized in a new government campus to be built in the veritable center of Trinidad and Tobago, as equidistant from our 4 corners as is possible to be, again, convenient to all. This would, of course, end the traffic once and for all by facilitating work from home or in your area for many of those same over 200,000 workers currently being forced to raise their families in the backseats of cars. It would save users the unnecessary travel to the west of Trinidad. Again, Gregory Aboud and Doma only survives because of those 200,000 workers, those government offices, and the poor Trinbagonian people who have no choice but to trek to town to do business with the state. So they go stop and buy a socks and a yard of cloth and 3 powerment while they're there. Would remove the incentives for downtown owners and vendors to fight over vending space. And most importantly, save us hundreds of millions of dollars of wasteful, ridiculous rents spent annually, draining the treasury, paid to the 1% real estate barons living high on this current arrangement. The hard thing to swallow is that we have known this was the right thing to do for over 30 years. That decentralization was best for everybody. So why wasn't it done? Ask property owners who are also financiers of the corrupt governments we have elected into office. Ask the PNM who have been using this easily solved traffic as shock doctrine, as justification to build racket rails to spend and steal billions more. Once those 200,000 workers and their wallets are out of Port of Spain, let's see of what use all this brouhaha over Chinatown. But for Mariano Brown, it's a non-issue. Because Mariano Brown is a PNM. And the PNM can't upset the apple cart. To the PNM, as long as their financiers have money flowing, they will get a pat on the head and something to eat. So Mariano is hoping to get someone to the west at some point. Because Amory Brown and Penelope Beckles and Mariano Brown are supposed to be next in line when Rowley gets flung. The way they flung Manning. When the 1%ers who control the PNM, who put Manning in office, put Rowley in office, every one of them is expecting that Rowley is going to be flung from the position and somebody else is going to be anointed. Because to all the black people who think the People's National Movement belongs to them, ask them, when last did you actually vote for the leader of the party? And when you could answer that, talk to me. Unlike the others who came out of the People's Partnership government, who outside there preaching sermons on the corner that they didn't preach when they were actually in office. And this is what irks my soul. You had the opportunity. Get out of the way now. Let others try. It can't get worse. The population of squirrels in the savannah is declining. Even squirrels leaving Trinidad. We're not celebrating nothing. I cannot tell you in this video, Eid Mubarak, Shub Diwali, Happy Christmas. And if you drive downtown, you ain't know what we're celebrating. 15 people put up some banners for Independence and Republic Day. Trinidadians are not interested anymore in anything but survival. And it is the government's fault. Because it is the government's responsibility. To the jackasses and the trolls who will tell me about the hole between Invaders Panyard and the Oval, is not Rowley make the hole? No. I do not think Rowley made the hole. But what I know with absolute certainty is it is his job to fix the hole. And if you don't understand that, and if you don't get that the reason Rowley has a job and gets the perks that he gets is to take care of shit like that, then I can't help you. And the most I can do is encourage you not to vote. Because if you're voting for people without understanding what you're voting for, and if you don't understand the system and are not interested in learning what the system should be, then don't contribute to it because you're making it worse, not better. We need citizens awoke on what the function, purpose, and reason for government is. The Minister of Finance job is simple: to steward the economy of Trinidad and Tobago in the best interest of all of the citizens, developing and growing it in keeping and surpassing world standards, taking advantage of all of the advantages, assets that we have. The opposite has occurred on this man's watch. We are worth less than we were worth when he came into office. If anybody asks you if you're better off today than you were 5 years ago, you cannot answer yes, even if you wanted to lie. The country is in a shabby mess. We are a hellhole, a shithole, a cesspool. You could find any name and we're worse than that. We are a banana republic among banana republics. We are a narco state where the parliament and the media will accept from the attorney general that this is a country where drugs does import and export themselves. Where $600 million worth of cocaine could find its way to Monas and nobody responsible for that. Where $400 million could come into this country, go into a juice factory, pack itself in cans, get itself shipped on a manifest, and nobody have a name there. Not a seller, not a buyer, nobody. Trinidad, dangerous. I want to write Trump and tell him, if we could send cocaine that have no shipper and no receiver, brace, what else could we send through this country? But that is the madness that is Trinidad and Tobago, that is being perpetrated against the people of this country. And until we get serious, it will continue. The media will continue to frame the narrative. Bullshit bacchanal between Kamala and Keith. Reject it. The media will continue to try and frame the narrative bullshit bacchanal between Suzette Lauer. Did Suzette Lauer sell her sword? She's a sell sword. They're saying, Rhoda Barrett saying she sell her sword to Rudal Munilan, that she will cut up P&M on her post. Who is that attracting? She have 100 old farts camping out on her wall, waiting for her selfie every day. She's of no consequence. How does that become the story? And Rowley calling her an imps only demonstrates once and again that SABGA group of companies are failures and liars, because the day I call the heifer to task for the shit she do our people on their station, SABGA quickly make up a women's rights group. But Kid Rowley could call a citizen a imps, and SABGA Women's Rights Organization have nothing to say. So they could miss me with the bullshit. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to get serious. We have to be able to identify and stick on point. And the point right now is Petrotrin. The point right now is Wassa. When Keith Rowley tell you the Salcott bankrupt Wassa, he lie. Wassa could make in a month all the money it took to buy the Salcott every single month. So Keith Rowley is lying, and he is setting Wassa up to fail so that a white knight could buy it. Do not allow this. AV Oil is trying to buy Petrotrin. He is going to send Blue Waters or one of them behind Wassa. These things have been planned. We are going to end up in a situation after the next election, even if the PNM lose. The cost of the cleanup is going to be phenomenal. It is time now, Trinidad and Tobago, for us to get serious. Tell your friends, or you just ask me questions, and just give all the real information. This one I put out yesterday. If you didn't get it, how about we start asking our family members of public office holders to show the mortgages or explain the wealth that bought all they suddenly own. And I want Keith Rowley, brother, to explain how he owns the properties he owns. Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of prime ministers and other ministers to declare their wealth to prevent hiding of ill-gotten gains. If you have family members who are people of straw but are driving high-end German automobiles, Range Rovers and Prados, who are magically able to buy up upscale townhouse units from developers friendly to office holders, they should have to answer for that. How about we give the Integrity Commission the authority to look into cases where entire families suddenly find themselves fortunate because one of their ranks got a ministerial portfolio? I wonder what we would find in the books of La Renaissance Towers, One Woodbrook Place, and even developments currently under construction. If you think we cannot find the corruption and bring the corrupt to justice because others have refused to do their duty in the past out of sense of mutual assured destruction, let me free you of that misunderstanding. Somebody asked, what did you exactly mean? So I put out an example. How compliance should work, especially with relatives of public officials. Yes, I understand that you're a captain of industry now, but back in 2006, when you weren't so wealthy, your salary was $50,000 a year, yet you acquired $4 million in property. Care to explain that vast disparity and good fortune? Now I want you to understand this. That question there is the thread that you pull. You start there. You go and you find the ministers and the prime ministers, brothers, sisters, sons and daughters, track them from the age they left school and got their first job and what they acquired, and look for the year the disparity occurred, because you'll find it. That's what they do. They put it in wives' names, in children's names. I know a woman who was a dancer for East Indian group ended up with £1 million in her bank account, and nobody went to jail. Well, one man went for 2 days. Care to explain the vast disparity? Or your uncle gave it to you. Which uncle might that be? Investigation moves to uncle and where his fortunes might have been in 2006. That's how it works. I told y'all, you want to lock up the biggest drug importer in Trinidad and Tobago? Go and lock up all the sprangers tonight. All. And you know where they are? They're in 4 Roads, They buy Mokorapo. You know where they are in the savannah begging. I want a 10 cents, a 5 cents, a dollar. Lock up all. Tonight. Tell everybody. First man, give me the name and the address of the person they're buying the drugs from. Walking out tonight free of charge. Right now, give me the name, the address, and walk. Because it's not them little penny pinchers you want. Now you have the drug seller. So you're going to lock up all the drug sellers. And all who want to give me your supplier name, walk out tonight. Do not let me see you in this business again. Walk free. Because, and you have to come and give evidence. They don't just give me the name. No. When we arrest them and we make a case, go and get the importer. Go and get the supplier. From the supplier, you will get the importer. That's how it works. That's as simple as it works. And we know, I know, Commissioner know, DPP know, Chief Justice know, Keith Rowley know, Kamala know. All of them know. It says here that besides your salary as an elected official, your earnings per year were less than $1 million. Yet you not only acquired $4 million worth of property, you gave it away to your nephew. Care to explain that? Oh, it was a gift from a businessman. Like how Oma get a gift from Lawrence to put Michaela out on the hustings now. Can you explain why a businessman would give you $4 million worth of property and why you gave it to your nephew, if not to hide? Investigation moves to businessman. In 2006, you gave $4 million to a public official. Can you explain what was that in exchange for? Oh, for nothing. You were just feeling magnanimous. Have you given millions of dollars worth of property to others for nothing before? Or just this particular elected official? You see, you're going to tell me, Phillip, the police corrupt, customs corrupt, DPP office, you ain't know who is who. And I tell you, granted, a progressive empowerment party government, the people that we bring in to do these investigations, not Trinbagonians. When we say we're setting up the maritime security wall to stop the drug trade, we're not putting the commander of the Coast Guard in charge. We're not putting the chief of the defense staff in charge. We're putting foreign officials in charge and we're rotating them every 3 months because we know the corruptive power of drug money. You see, you have to have an actual plan and you have to stick to it, because if you don't plan, you'll fail. And we need to fix it. You see, the investigation then turns to the businessman and the public officials and everything that they did in that time when the nephew get the $4 million worth of property. You see that time? Draw a circle. Here's what shows. You see pictures on the wall, printouts, names, lines, and red lines drawing. Where they connect, where they overlap. And all the overlaps gets your attention. And you go 3 degrees of separation. My wife, brother, wife. My daughter, husband, father, and mother. You see, when you start to broaden the net, all of a sudden names pop up. Wait a minute, you working in the bank. How did you end up with this in your bank account? Boss, my father-in-law asked me to hold it for him. I don't know where he get it from. Pull the thread. Pull the thread. You see, it could fix. It could fix. Little man grew up in Sinclair, 100 million here today, 20 years past, little government contracts in exchange for nothing. Pull the thread. You're born in Woodbrook, you live in a 2x4 house, all of a sudden you're billing millions. Pull the thread. Pull the thread. Leasing daughter-in-law is not just P&M. Leasing daughter-in-law got $500,000, Kendall Baggy, from the P&M scholarship racket. Go and research that. And when the woman who was in charge of that scholarship racket was referred to the DPP, nothing happened. She was supposed to go to jail. Money was stolen out of the treasury and given to journalists and friends of the P&M and called scholarships. Follow the money. Cyril or Ramada sounds easy, but is there really a mafia in TNT? The mafia in TNT is joke to the mafia that was in New York City. Rudolph Giuliani, and if you talk to him, you will understand. That's the source of my information. And fellas like Kerrick and Bratton, are the people we need to deal with. To get them here and duplicate how they did what they did, to turn New York City from the murder capital of the world to the tourist capital of the world. Trinidad and Tobago, with its 1.4 million people, had 520 murders last year. New York City, 19 million people, they had 126. And they vexed. I want to tell you, from the moment you begin with intent to prosecute, and you start going after the big fish, it will fall like a house of cards. Like a proverbial house of cards. Because the moment the small fish in Trinidad and Tobago start to see it is big puppies getting arrested and charged, and watch me, the next thing we have to do in this country is look at lawyers' fees. They brought up an issue the other day about lawyers' fees, and that get quite quick. Lawyers' fees in this country is another avenue that, anyway, we will come to that on another version of this conversation. But we have to get serious because time is running out. Time is running out, Trinidad and Tobago.
I visited Parliament Chamber, witness an orchestra, a bang, 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 of only politicians well, rated their performance and style, talent and endurance, a bang, 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 of parliamentarians. All the things that encourage hate, making good folks discriminate, bridges replaced by gates. Nurturing racism, prejudice and tribalism, multiculturalism, mamagism. From the UNC and the PNM, COP and the political symphony, it's a symphony with the TOP, MSJ and JNC and the political symphony, it's a symphony. Stop taking it cool, don't be playing for fool. They're using race as a tool to divide, conquer and rule. Justify the bull, the race can they always pull.
And Kendall Baggy, that's why I tell the foreign-based trainees, they can't touch all here. They can't come there with the sedition bullshit. They can't come there with defamation bullshit. Y'all supposed to be unleashing for the world to see what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. That's the help we need. Y'all are beyond their touch. Here they could manipulate the situation. There, all you have freedom to run. Social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, email. Put the information in the public space. Trinbagonians have to know what they're dealing with. Right now we're playing hide and seek and using law and state offices to hide criminals so that the people don't know what's really going on. The foreign-based Trinis and the people who care about Trinidad and Tobago, you all have every right and opportunity to help free us from this madness.
Lead vocalists have sore throat, keyboard is playing wrong note in this land of serial politicians.
Their lyrics not rhyming, some have no sense of timing.
This band of parliamentarians.
Say we move on the powerless, perverting the course of justice. Our democracy is at risk.
When this section calls to the fore, music runs to the core.
Who arranged the song?
So impure with the UNC and the PNM and the COP and the political symphony. It's a symphony.
Listen to what coming,
TOP, MSJ and JNC and the political symphony. It's a symphony.
Corruption rebuff, enough is enough. The system will always fail. The big fish not being in jail. Now Kurt Allen, how many years Kurt Allen singing this? The rest of the Calypsonians singing for the supper. They're singing anti-UNC praise PNM, so PNM can do anything. Kurt Allen is the only Calypsonian left outside there. I remember, boy, this boy, tall, big Rasta man. What was his name again? I said, that man have talent. But his talent is a gun for hire, all of them. So when Rowley want to cuss Susan Lower for using hers as a UNC sword for hire, what about the whole of Tuco and everything that's going on? The Marsh Granite. What about that? And should we care? Should people like me care? Should I not just leave the 1% and them to do what they want? Leave it. Let the contract mafia run free. Shouldn't I, like a lot of my contemporaries and friends, just say, you know what? It can't fix because Trinbagonians not serious. If we were serious, Tragrid Road closed tonight. But we're not serious. We don't know what our rights are. So they could take them away and we're not serious. We listen to our budget and we don't know if that is real, if that is allowed. We don't know. We have no leadership. It is the leadership, the enemy is within. It is the leadership leading the people astray. Last night after the tiring event that we had, because we don't stop. This party doesn't stop. We work right through, and after I asked Felicia, I said, tell me again that we're not wasting our time. Tell me again. Because I want to understand Trinidadians and their fear. I have fear too. I am a mortal man. But if by now, Trinidadians are standing up in the hundreds of thousands, will they? Could we ever have a situation where the election is treated with the seriousness it deserves by Trinbagonians so easily conned to get into their racist section? Could we? Are we wasting time? If political parties buying up activists for overseas posts, was this video tonight a waste of time? I mean, the barbecue man tonight, he made me feel good that people hear it, and he said that it moved him, but I don't know. I ran as an independent in the last election. Thousands of people, thousands by now tell me, boss, I was proud to vote for you. EBC tell TV6 I get 3 votes. And I have no way for me to go back to check it, to check see if TV6 really broadcast what EBC say. There's nowhere to turn. There's nobody to turn to. There is no leadership structure. The country is run like a gangster's paradise. Like criminals calling the shots, and we don't know. To be ready for the next election, if the Progressive Empowerment Party runs independent of the PNM and the UNC, we need money to pay volunteers on election day to sit down inside every voting booth and make sure no bullshit taking place. We need to have returns counted before the boxes leave the polling station. That takes support systems, hundreds of people. That takes cars and food. We need money. So all of you who liking it and telling one another, man, bright, you right, here we saying, that will fix it. It a meeting is a we thing, because if all of we don't get together, all of this is for nothing. All of this would be for nothing. We need a marching band of people ready to volunteer, to be ready to serve, to get the word out, to take flyers, to knock on doors and ring doorbells, because we can't buy at Sabga price. We rent a half hour on Sabga News Network, CNC3, and pay $18,000 to run that half hour. And $18,000 come hard, and Sabga raised the price. At a time when media collapsing, PEP say we going and raise money for a barbecue and we will put it on CNC3. And the bitches raise the price. At a time when media collapsing, when Sabga lose $11 million, but raise the price to block Progressive Empowerment Party. And they have no way for me to find out what PNM paid. They have no equal time laws. So the most I could do is pray to all the gods, the old and the new, that Sabga whole empire collapse, especially the media empire. And Huvex lost. We need a better country. And the only way it's going to happen is if 1 million of us want it. Come election time, 500,000 of us have to want it. 1.1 million people are eligible to vote. 500,000 people have to find themselves in polling booths and put their X next to the Progressive Empowerment Party candidate. Because if you put me in the parliament solo, alone, I pull the 40 of them to task by myself. But if you put me inside of there with a majority, we will fix the country in 5 years. I guarantee you that. This is not for shits and giggles. This is not for jelly beans and jubs. I tell you all already, I'm 52, I'll be 53 in January. I counted my life in how many Diwalis I have left, how many Christmases I have left, how many Eids, how many Carnival, how many Easter, how many trips to the beach I have left, because I'm watching my father, my grandfather, and I know they have a time frame. I have a shelf life. I don't want to waste it thieving money. For what? For what? I said I give it chance to go 10 years, that done in 2018, I'm still here. They tell me finish it out, okay, take it to 2020, and if we get into office, 1 term. 1 term with everything I have. And I'm doing it for one selfish reason, because I want to fix this whole country so my children and their children could grow up here safe. My reasons, very selfish. It's not magnanimous. Because if I could pick up my whole tribe and go, I'm not responsible for this freaking mess. 57 years of thief after thief after thief. Norway, who just get oil, have $1 trillion in their heritage fund. We have $3 billion. Our debt exceeds our savings in a country that spent $1 trillion in 57 years. Look around and tell me, besides some overnight millionaires who can't explain their wealth, where our money gone? Tell me. Tell me. John OJ asked, if you end up as opposition, will you be okay with that? No. We didn't come this far to only come this far. And we will walk out of that and send it back to an election, and we will stand down. Because Trinidad and Tobago, not serious. If you're serious, you look at Phillip, Edward Alexander, and what the Progressive Empowerment Party is doing, and you don't come out in your numbers and vote, or they're not serious.
Use it well before it's too late. your finger and rescue the country. Put them up with tempo, they happy in vain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again. If their policy is a fallacy, bureaucracy, a catastrophe, if they cannot cope and you see him so, then your only hope is for them to go. If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, vote them wrong, vote them wrong. If it is a frustration, let's make you want to shout. When you're voting, vote them wrong, vote them wrong. Before they misuse out, cheap out, sell out and mix out. If it's you who put them in, vote them wrong. Register and vote them wrong. All of them, vote them wrong. Stain your finger and vote them wrong. Them on the system, vote them wrong. Put them out in Scarborough and in Portishead. Let's put our country together again. Put them out in Congo and in Laramie. Let's put our country together again. People must come first, citizens by right. None of we are worse, yellow, black or white. Food, shelter and clothes, free movement and speech. A garden that grows and one row for each.
What he is about to say here is very important. Please pay attention.
If it is that injustice is what they always show, when you're voting, vote them wrong, vote them wrong. If it is that avarice is all they seem to know, when you're voting, vote them wrong, vote them wrong. If it is their politics, it's just a puppy show. When elections day come, all bandits must go.
All vote.
Register and vote them wrong. If they don't see, stain your finger and show them no mercy. Put them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power to live in the rain. Let's put our country together again.
The Progressive Empowerment Party is not taking any part in the local government election for two reasons. First and foremost, we believe the local election system is a waste of time, is a waste of money, it's failed. We've offered a proposal, we advocate for the abolition of the RHAs, the THA, the police division system, and the local government systems, the abolition of the Municipal Corporation Act, and replacing all of them with a constituency board of supervisors that makes each of the 41 constituencies semi-autonomous and able to develop themselves. So picture Trinidad and Tobago with a San Francisco and a California and a Chicago and a New York. Because that's what we will allow our constituencies to do. Properly develop themselves. They'll be responsible for their own water, their own electricity, their own roads, their own public utilities, their own education, their own healthcare, their own security. They will make themselves functional and develop themselves to suit their people. They will keep the taxes generated internally and get the development money from the budget that the constituencies are entitled to. We need that kind of management in this country. The local government system is a waste of time, a complete failure. They don't even know what to do with it again. They're just using it as a tool to further enslave people like the THA does in Tobago. Reject that bullshit. Tobago should be one of the most prosperous nations on the planet by itself. Tobago's economy should be 10 and 15 billion US dollars a year alone to start. But Tobago's economy could be $100 billion a year. Tobagonians should be some of the wealthiest people in the world, but they're allowing themselves to be ridden like fools. Because it's not the THA that built Milshove. It's the 1% that use the THA to tax and enslave the freaking Tobagonians that getting away with this madness. Come on! We need to get serious in this country. We're not serious. And we need to get serious. To those of you contemplating leaving Trinidad and Tobago, move all your money. Move everything. Just you, take it in your hand and come and help. A last fling to try and fix it. Move everything, sell everything, rent a little apartment, put all your money outside and come and help. Because if we win, a joy will spread through this land like it has never spread before. Criminals will be on the run. High, low, handjack, and game. The contract mafia will begin to dismantle itself and try to hide. But I promise you, as a mission, my purpose in life is them. My purpose in life is them. To make sure that they pay for every tear shed, for every broken family, for every victim of murder who chose crime because of poverty and this broken society because of them. That's my mission. If anything I do is to bring them to justice. To get the banks to admit that what they've done is advantage. That our mortgage system is madness. That the spread in our foreign exchange is ridiculous. That the fees and the charges and the lack of interest paid to depositors' funds is bordering on usury. No other government talking that. No other government talking to you about the value of your money. That $15 an hour as a minimum wage in Trinidad and Tobago can buy a box of chicken and chips. In America, it could buy 15. Come on. We need to get serious, Trinidad and Tobago, about our responsibility to our democracy. We need to stand up. 1.4 million of us, those who celebrate Emancipation Day and those who celebrate Diwali, those who celebrate Eid and those who celebrate Christmas and those who don't celebrate nothing at all of we have to stand together as one people, because if we don't stand together, one by one we will sink alone. Trinidad and Tobago, the bells are ringing, the flags are waving. It is time. We have one shot left. It is in a year. We have an election. The second reason we are not running for local government election is we are making sure all our resources are ready to spend on a general election. That's the prize. Because without that, you can't fix Trinidad and Tobago. We need 41 seats in the parliament. And we could do it. We could do it. Politically, we could do it. Wake the people up and tell them, don't let your skin color be a stumbling block. Don't let your skin color enslave you. Don't let your hair texture be the chain by which they hold you. Let us come together as one people and stand up for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Because if we don't, we will only have ourselves to blame when the mark bus and the joke is on us. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.